Hey, welcome back to another episode of Chasing Spring. I just want you to know this episode is going to be painful.
We've had a lot of these. Man, what an awesome hunt. Congratulations on a kill.
So let me just preface this by saying that
my soul is already dying.
yeah, but let me just preface by saying, you know, a lot of the old school, old timer turkey hunters say if you haven't missed one, it's just because you haven't shot it enough of them.
Yeah,
That's true.
And I was pretty proud of the fact that I'd killed a couple truckloads of them with only one or two misses, and both of those misses I followed up with a kill. So I didn't really have
Never had a losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, I went deep into my career before I had a true miss, like hang your head, come home, you know, empty-handed. And this spring, after Georgia, Mr. Bobby worked on Tripp's little M2. I mean, and got that sucker just dialed in. And I thought, you know, this gun's really sweet. It's got the little optic on it. I thought, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna shoot one with a sub-gauge gun, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of superstitious anyway, so I have always shot the same gun, the same setup, no optic. I mean, I just kind of cover him up, pull the trigger, and start running towards him, hoping if I didn't kill him dead, I'll get him on the second shot.
We've all been there. Well, what happened on this hunt, Spence?
I'm out on optics, let me just tell you.
I was going to say, you're a waterfowl guy by trade
Point and shoot,
who is
man.
used to just putting a bead on stuff,
Yeah.
and you strayed.
After Nathaniel's amazing kill right off the bat, we moved about 150 yards.
Yeah,
not
maybe
far.
I
200.
mean, and it sounded like a whole chorus of 4 or 5 gobblers. I mean,
Yeah.
just
They were just down in that bottom.
Yeah.
below
off that
us
new
there.
food plot.
Yeah.
Ed had just made a new food plot,
Yeah.
and they were just off that little.
And he
We didn't know
mentioned-
that road was there.
No,
but
if we'd have known,
Yeah.
it might have been a little.
They kind of surprised us.
But I remember Ed mentioned that morning, he said, if y'all don't get on anything over here at that first spot, he was like, go that way. There's a new food plot, and they've been coming up out of that bottom into that food plot. Well, they did.
Yep.
I mean, we just barely got set down.
Yeah.
Just missed him. Just shot right over the top of his head, I guess.
And it wasn't the greatest setup. We just didn't know that they were going to be right there right then. Once we got over to where the turkeys came up and looked backwards, we're like, oh, they seen us.
When the first one popped out, he was at about 25 yards.
Yeah.
And I knew there were multiples because every time somebody had yelped, it was gobble, gobble,
That's
gobble,
right.
gobble.
That's right.
Well, I let the third one get through, and I said to Austin, I was like, are you on him? He was like, I don't see him. And I was like, they're right beside the decoy. And somehow in that exchange, bam! I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to say.
It's one of those things that, like, and everybody, if you've hunted very much, you know the feeling, but you're like, I know I've missed a lot over my career, but man, that sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always the same thing too. Like as soon as it happens, nobody says anything for like 3 minutes. We're just standing there like
I think somebody was like,
replaying it in your mind.
dang it, what just happened? I'm like, I screwed up. That's what happened.
Exactly what happened.
The issue here, though, is that sometimes when you make a mistake and you realize that you've gone astray and done something wrong, you like learn from your mistake.
Nope.
And do it different the next time. But if you're stubborn like me, you dig your heels in and you say, you know what? No, I'm not shooting
Yeah,
the next
I'll just
one
try it
without an
again.
optic.
You're the guy that wants to, as a
I'm gonna
basketball
right
player,
my
you're gonna shoot yourself out of the
Exactly,
freezer.
exactly,
Yeah, you're like,
exactly.
I'll just keep shooting until I get hot.
Field goal percentages are irrelevant
Yeah.
if you get the ball every
Yeah.
possession.
Exactly. Let's just keep throwing.
So with that intro, I feel like we should just go ahead and show you the next morning. I mean,
The very next morning.
swing and a miss.
They ran away just like they ran in.
I fumbled the ball, turnover.
It happens.
But Missouri was a place that you hadn't killed one, right?
Right.
And
Which
so-
really mattered to me.
Yeah, I
mean,
know, because
Yeah.
you were like, man, that was a big deal as to why you wanted to come.
Yeah.
And we really only have photographic proof, but you did end up killing one, right?
You
I
went back
did.
to Ed's.
I
and
went
shot
back
one,
to Ed's, and we ended up being there the last 2 days of Missouri season.
10th
Yeah.
or 12th of May.
And of course, nothing was easy. They weren't dumb like they were when we
Yeah.
were all there with Nathaniel.
Because we'd already put a pretty
Yeah.
good
I mean,
education
I'd
program.
sufficiently,
we educated them
yeah.
well.
Yeah. I'd shot at every gobbler that Ed had. Hope Ed's not watching. None were harmed.
Yeah, there was no turkeys
spewed
harmed in
my
the
coffee.
making of this
But-
video, that's for sure.
Tried a few things and a few gobbled, but nothing was easy and nothing
Yeah.
was working. And we made one long loop around Ed's sanctuary, is what he calls it, which is that big thicket. And there'd been a couple that we'd heard way off, just as far as you could hear one gobbling, but further than you wanted to walk first thing that morning. And we walked all, I mean, it was really windy. It was just kind of like we were done. We stopped to like literally get a drink of water and just kind of like take a deep breath because we'd been trucking, working our way back to the car. And Keelan said, "You yelp one time and let me stand up here and listen." And I yelped, and immediately he said, "One gobble." He's like 50 yards. And Dylan and I are like, "No, he didn't." Like, you're making things up. He was like, "I swear he did. He's right there." We're like, "Yeah, whatever." We walk around the corner, nothing. And literally, like, after we walked around this little corner of the property line, there was a big blowdown. And I was walking in front, Dylan and Keelan were behind me. And I walked like one more step, and there's a big fat gobbler standing right there in the road. Sure enough, he'd been 75 yards, and I didn't even say anything. I just pulled a gun up, boom, shot him right
Oh,
there.
so a traditional one.
Just a traditional walk right up on him, shoot him in the
just
face.
walk right up on him in the road.
Good thing I didn't have an optical nut gun because I could not have killed that bird.
And that would have
With
been
a quick
heartbreaking
draw.
to miss another one.
Yeah, no joke.
Oh my gracious! So I did get redemption on Ed's.
All's well that ends well, right? So
Although it would have been nice, it wouldn't have been legal, but 3 turkeys in Missouri would have been better than 1. But I'll take the 1.
yeah.
Well, at least you got your Missouri bird.
Yeah, at least you did.
Checked it off this year, so no more optics for Spence.
There you go. We'll get on board with that.
All right,
I'm
well,
100% okay with that.
tune in next week and we'll go back to killing on camera. This has been another episode of Chasing Spring.